Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Avani Ratan. I'm your faculty at Conceptual Psychology. I welcome you all to the seventh subpart of social psychology, which is group dynamics. We will be quickly going through what are group dynamics. Starting with, what are groups? So a group is where two or more people who interact and influence one another share a sense of belonging. Groups, they differ from crowds because they involve relationships, they involve roles, and they also involve shared identity. A cricket team has a shared goal, which is winning matches. A study group has a shared goal, which is preparing for exams. A family has a shared identity and an emotional bond. So these can be categorized into groups. Now, why do people join groups? Because we have a need to belong, as humans are social creatures. So students joining clubs to feel included. Then there is achievement of goals. Groups make it easier to reach common objectives. So workers, forming unions to negotiate with the employers that would facilitate the achievement of goals. Then there is identity and self-esteem. So group membership boosts self-worth. So people, they feel proud being part of a prestigious university, hence their identity and self-esteem feels boosted. Then there is security reason, which is groups provide protection and support. Maybe neighborhood watch groups are one of the examples here. Now, what is the effect of groups on individual performance? The first is the social facilitation, where the presence of others improves performance on simple or well-learned tasks, but can hinder performance on difficult or new tasks. So what is the example here? Cyclists, they ride faster in racing when they do it alone. So a child may struggle more with a tough math problem if classmates are watching. So that is social facilitation. Now, discussing about social loafing. People put in less efforts when working in groups compared to working alone. They rely on others to pick up the slack. So in group projects, some members, they contribute very little but still share the grade. That is one example of social loafing, which you may all have experienced in your life at some point or the other. Then there is deindividuation. So in large groups, people, they lose the self-awareness and the sense of responsibility, which leads to impulsive or the deviant acts. So riots, when individuals vandalize the property under crowd anonymity, that is one of the example. Or online trolling, when people hide behind anonymous accounts. Please keep these three in mind. The definition should be very, very clear to you because this is an important concept when looked at through the examination point of view. Now, discussing about the group decision making, the first is group polarization. So, group tends to take more extreme decisions than the individuals. Maybe as an example, you could keep in mind a jury that initially favors mild punishment may decide on a much harsher sentence after the group discussion. That is group polarization. The second is groupthink, given by Janus. When the desire for harmony and agreement, it leads to poor decision making, right? So maybe there is a pressure to conform There is an illusion of invulnerability and ignorance of alternatives. So, NASA's Challenger disaster in the 1986, where warnings about the risks were ignored to maintain group consensus. Or the corporate boards, they approve risky mergers without critical evaluation. That is groupthink. Now, talking about risky shift. Groups may take riskier decisions than individuals would alone. So here, investment teams making high-risk financial choices under group influence. That is an example of risky shift. Talking about conformity, which is going along with the group, conformity is the adjusting behavior or the belief to match the group norms. Now, the classic studies on conformity was Sherif's autokinetic effect study, where people's judgments about moving light converged to group norm. Another example is Asch's line experiment in 1951, where people gave wrong answers just to conform with the group, even when the correct answer was obvious. So students laughing at the joke they don't find funny because everyone else is laughing is the example of conformity. Then obedience, which is following authority. So the first example is the Milgram's obedience study done in 1963, where participants were told to administer electric shocks to a learner when they made mistakes. So many obeyed the authority even when they believed that they were causing serious harm. So the soldiers who are following orders in a war, they do it even when it goes against the morality. Cooperation and competition. So groups can be cooperative, which is working towards the shared goals, or competitive, which is working against each other. So here, Sherif's robbers cave experiment, where boys at a summer camp, they formed rival groups and became hostile. But hostility reduced only when they had to work together towards a subordinate goal, like maybe fixing a water supply. So two rival sports team may fight, but they may cooperate if a player from either side gets injured. So how do we summarize group dynamics? Groups influence behavior in both positive and in negative ways. The positive ways are the facilitation, belonging, and cooperation. The negative ways are loafing, groupthink, deindividuation. So conformity and obedience, they show the power of social influence, sometimes leading people to act against their own values. So that's how we could wind up group dynamics. I wish you all the best. Thank you.